Hello. Welcome to Screen Talk with yours truly, Nomfanelo. So, people can't get enough of K-pop Demon Hunters ever since it first came out on Netflix. I believe was over 2 months ago at this point. I didn't see it at the time it first came out. I eventually saw it last month, and I say, man, I could see why people are loving this movie. And I would say, in terms of my list, in terms of the best of the year so far, it's definitely a contender. But we'll see what happens towards the end of the year. But regardless, yeah, people are loving this movie, and I'm not surprised. So this past weekend, Netflix they decided to do a limited theatrical release for K-pop Demon Hunters. They dubbed it the Sing Along event. That played both on Saturday and Sunday. Because I remember seeing on the Cineplex website they had like two showtimes, but because showings were keep selling out, they had to add early screen time. So yeah, I'm not surprised. I guess some would say be a surprise because it did well at the box office, but we don't know the official numbers. But yeah, there was a large turnout for sure. So I want to share this video I found on Twitter where someone shared like they attended like a pack screening, and this was the reaction that people had in the theaters. A short clip. Hopefully, I don't get dinged. Insane. But yeah, like that's insane. That's insane. but but yeah, people are loving this movie for sure. um so back to stop sharing. So I want to share because the Hollywood Reporter posted this earlier. So apparently, with the movie, it's the most popular movie on Netflix. It surpassed Red Notice. So Red Notice had 238 million views, but with K-pop Demon Hunters, it surpassed it, where it now has 236 million views, which is insane. So, if all this being said, it was announced that there's going to be a sequel. Sony and Netflix are doing talks right now for that. So, let's see what it says here. Sony is in talks with Netflix to make an animated sequel to K-pop Demon Hunters, sources tell Hollywood Reporter. The musical has turned into sort of a cultural sensation every Hollywood studio or streamer tries to hunt down, even at great expense but rarely finds. The events of the past few days, including Netflix dropping a surprise sing along version of the Sony Pictures animation film in theaters over the weekend, or Demon Hunter becoming the most watched English language film of all time on the streamer, are reigniting the debate as to whether Sony's film empire gave away the keys to the kingdom in 2021 when handing the movie over to Netflix to release versus bankrolling a big budget theatrical release on its own from a first time featured director with no major stars. So I would say it's probably safe to say that, let's say, if it did get the theatrical rollout, I still think it would have done well. Like, especially if it had a strong word of mouth, I would say it would have done well. Now, in terms of how well is up for debate, but based on the estimate numbers, because the movie made what apparently less than 20 million, but Netflix is not going to release the official numbers. But yeah, it probably would have done very well at the box office. I'm just gonna scroll down this list, this article. Sorry. But yeah, it mentions, yeah, that it surpassed Red Notice in terms of being the most popular or most watched movie on the platform. And yeah, the soundtrack is apparently now is the first to have four simultaneous top 10 hits on Billboard's Hot 100, led by the song Golden, which is an excellent song. They mentioned Sony gets a portion of the money Netflix is paying Sony's animation company, Imageworks, home of their visual groundbreaking movies such as the Spider Verse films. And apparently, yeah, like Spider Verse, an Oscar campaign is being planned for Demon Hunters. But yeah, and they mentioned that people are watching it multiple times. So yeah, there's that. I'll leave a link to the article if you want to read it, essentially. But but yeah, I'm not surprised that this movie is doing very well, and it continues to do very well. So I want to do talk about the potential Oscars eligibility and all that stuff. So typically, with movies to be considered for the Oscars, they need to have a theatrical release and all that stuff. I think you have to have at least a minimum set of days and all that stuff. And I believe, yeah, this movie was only screened for 2 days, a Saturday and Sunday. So I'm questioning, will it be eligible? So I'll share here another screen here. This is the general rules that I found on the Oscars website. So says here that, yeah, like, for you need to have a theatrical qualifying run of at least 7 consecutive days in the same commercial motion picture theater, during which period screenings must occur at least 3 times daily, with at least one screening beginning between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. daily. And also to mentions that films that in any version receive their first public exhibition or distribution in any manner other than as a theatrical motion picture release will not be eligible for the Oscars in any category. Non-theatrical public exhibition or distribution includes, but is not limited to, broadcast and cable TV, pay-per-view slash video on demand, DVD and or streaming distribution, in-flight airline distribution, internet transmission, and episodic series. But it says motion pictures released in such non theatrical media on or after the first day of their theatrical qualifying run remain eligible. Says also up to 15% of the running time of a film may be shown in a non theatrical medium prior to the film's qualifying run. So that's what they say here in terms of eligibility in regards to the theatrical component. But I don't know. Maybe you could say that because this recent theatrical run was a sing along event. I don't know. Maybe. Well, I mean, I assume that they plan to do, let's say, the minimum 1 week theatrical run. But but yeah, that's really all that I had to say here. I mean, we'll see what happens with the Oscars. I'm sure for other award shows it'll be eligible, and I'm sure it'll be nominated. But I bet that with the animation race for this award season is going to be interesting for sure. So there's that. So that pretty much concludes this video. I would love to know what are your thoughts on this movie. Did you guys see it during this past weekend with the sing along event? Let me know in the comment section. Also, too, do you think this movie will be eligible for the Oscars, even though um, Netflix and Sony plan to do um, an Oscars campaign essentially for this movie? Let me know in the comment section. Also, too, if you want to follow me, my links are in the description. If you want to support me, you can visit buymeacoffee.com/Nomfanelo, where you could donate either one time or monthly, but also to look at posts there. And I have my community tab on YouTube here, so feel free to post stuff there as long as it's under community guidelines. So I want to say thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to catch you on the next one.